Hey everyone, Mherex here, bringing you another video. This is going to be my preview on Big Boss Man, the corporation. He's the A tier this month. I've really enjoyed the A tiers, like, repeatedly. And Boss Man is no exception. I think he's really fun. He's an aggressive Attitude Era powerhouse. And there's a lot of stuff you can do with him, so let's get into this. He's got the corporation link. Less damage from yellow moves, that's really random. Attitude Era, gems do 10% more damage, and he's got the stock SWAT gear. Trainer, at 35k, power gems generated will add 75% more damage on each attack, and purple moves start with 2 more MP. Useful for power gem guys that need purple MP, I think. I don't know, maybe Dom might be able to use him. I don't know, I'd have to look into it. I haven't really looked into who it's good on. No hot tags or anything like that for him. And we're going to start off with the Sidewalk Slam. 1 MP, deal 1 million damage and steal up to 10 MP from each of your opponent's red moves. So this is an MP steal build. Back Elbow Smash, 9 MP, deal 800k damage. Force your opponent to skip their turn for 1 turn. Hardcore, if opponent's class is Acrobat, deal 900k damage and increase your red move damage by 100% for 1 turn. And Boss Man Slam Finisher, deal 5 million damage, gain 10 black MP, and pin the opponent. Hardcore, if opponent's style is defensive, first deal 5 million damage. So double hit if your opponent is defensive. So he's got lots of hardcore stuff. He's got a stun. You got an MP steal here. Because we can get loaded with the MP steal, we can use all move damage trainers. If you have Goat Ali, Trickster Ali, he adds 50% more than Finn Balor. Priest, so Balor adds 100%, Priest adds 150%, Brett adds 50% to red finishers. And then for red move damage, you could have Snoop at 40%. I got Karrion Kross here. I think he's less rare at 30%. Also Gooker at 75%. With this one, we're going to be running Takedown Strap with a red percentage. So 100% move damage strap, takedown 2s, and a 200% red, right? Let's get out here against Steiner, see what this looks like. BPP starts loaded with reds. So, of course, we have 99 MP, but you wouldn't need it. He has 4 and 4, 8 MP. Actually, technically, this moveset and his finisher's got 4 as well, so we'd steal 12 MP, which would load both of these. And then we hit the stun for 4 million damage. And then the finisher is doing 40 million this way. Now, do keep in mind there's nothing buffing the move damage. So if you go against somebody with tier 3 Furies, high level armor, which I think is tier 2 or tier 3 takedowns, you're not going to hit for really any damage because there's nothing buffing it. They're just going to negate your move damage to 0. That's what happens. So you won't be able to use this against higher metalled people. So keep that in mind. That it looks really good right now, but it's not as good as it looks because they're going to like really hammer your move damage. Maybe not as much in this case because we're adding so much extra, but it'll probably at least be halved. It might not zero it though. So it's worth noting on the MP steal, right? Moving along, what if it's an Acrobat? We can take advantage, and this would be his normal setup even if they're not Acrobat. So I'll show you this one. It's a stun lock loop. I will show you this one on an Acrobat, and then I'll go back to Steiner. So we're swapping in the leg trap Insagiri, 700k damage, increase your red MP by 10. If opponent generated at least 1, it's also reversal. It's a multiply reversal. So if they generate at least 1 multiply damage, steal 49 multiply gems, and steal the opponent's turn. This is a stun lock with a multiply steal. I think you're going to see a lot of this from people. Potentially, so you're going to want to remember not to use your multiply people on Big Boss Man. That's a really solid reversal, to be honest. And, of course, this recycles itself, so it is a stun lock. It's like a... Think of like Rick Steiner was back in the day, but upgraded. So the new Disciple Trainer, red moves that deal damage deal 75% more, and black moves start with 2 more MP. So that and Woods gets you loaded in feud. Snoop for that 40%, and Brett for 50%, right? So this is stun lock, and we're going against an acro. to show you with the red boost move. So here we go with the increase your red MP. Boom. And here comes the back elbow smash, which the first part is going to buff it. So 5 million move damage and then 11 million move damage. And now the finisher is doing 62 million. So against an acrobat, it's kind of very similar to Roger Rabbit, right? That build set. But it's a stun lock Roger Rabbit with a reversal. So I get why it's hardcore. Because the stun lock and the multiply reversal make it quite powerful, to be honest. So what does that look like though? And again, keep in mind, same thing's going to apply. This move damage is going to be not hit nearly as hard, but it will completely stun lock. So you can get away with it if you want to play slower on somebody with high tier medals. So I think it's still winnable. You can still win, and the game's been super laggy for everyone. So this red ring thing is pretty common. So I think it will still be winnable, but I don't think it's ideal. However, you aren't going to need a lot necessarily to run this. It's just as long as your move damage can get through to do some damage, you can potentially win. It just might take a while. Anytime game. It would be great. Holy red ring cannoli. Yeah, so I've been doing pretty okay practicing, just once in a while hitting this big snag here. I'll reboot it in a second if I need to. Usually it's just been some slower red rings, not so long like this. We'll just go ahead and reboot. So, but yeah, there's a lot Big Boss Man can do besides the stun lock. We're just getting started. So I'm definitely liking his kit. I think it's pretty diverse. Pretty diverse indeed. So now let's play that build set against Steiner without the class advantage. He, of course, would start charged. And I do need to talk, there's one move we're not going to use. It's a black MP steal. It just doesn't really fit into any flow very well, in my opinion. I'm sure there's stuff you could do with it, but based on the other stuff, not really a fan of that one. It's also 1 MP, so situational, probably useful. So here's the stun lock against Steiner. When it's not aggro, you can see what the pin is for. 4 million with this move. And then we flip over here. And it hits for 30 million. So it's like a 2-cycle with the current metals, but keep in mind, higher metals, it's not going to be like that, right? But still really powerful stun lock. I think it'll be super useful. All right. All right. So sub move. I don't love the sub. I think other stuff's better, but I thought I would show it with super friendly trainers. I think these can pretty much be considered free to play. Trainers for the most part. I think at one time or another they've all been given away. You may not have them, but all right. Okay. And I'll show you that black MP steal that I just feel like didn't flow very well. That's the blue. Deal 1 million damage and steal up to 10 MP from each of your opponent's black moves. Because the way I run him, it's just stuff recycles, you know. Buff your MP after, you can do it before or after the sleeper, it doesn't matter. Loadout for this one, again, is really friendly, but I should talk about the sub move that we put in. Sleeper hold, 6 MP, generate 44 sub gems, do 800k damage 2 turns, remaining turn into botch gems. So this is the wrong finisher though, so we need to switch the finisher too, because we're not stun locking anymore. We're going with the other red finisher, the Big Boss Man Slam. So no more stun lock. Now we're on to other stuff. 350k damage, bonus damage for every botch gem. Then finisher, 1.2 million damage, make 36 botch gems into black gems. I really like this combo finisher in the sense that it recycles the other stuff with the botch. It has more utility for like a boss because you get the bonus damage and then you destroy all the gems that are botches. So it's kind of interesting in my opinion for a botch moveset. Typically I don't really care for them, but this one I find fun for some reason. So we got Woods, and then Andrade, that gets the black moves loaded. We only need 6 MP, we have 7. Andrade adds 75% to the botch gems. The Stacy 50%, and then Hunter Hearst Helmsley, Blue Blood, 40%. So that gets us up to almost 1 million bonus damage per botch gem. So depending how many we keep, and that's unblockable. So armor, metals, and none of that stuff is going to stop you from hitting that hard. Of course, the flip side is none of that stuff affects that damage, right? So, but it's what I call unblockable. So it happens no matter what. Your opponent can't nerf that. See how many botch gems potentially we lose. 3, and then a wild card. So we lost a lot of botch gems, and that's on a 2-turn sub. That's just why I don't like using subs, but it is what it is. You can see we still hit pretty decently. 36 million pin, even missing a bunch of them. But it does convert your botch gems, right? So they don't necessarily stay on the board. So that part some people won't like. But I do kind of like it, right? But I generally don't like botch builds, and I like the unblockable damage a lot. So I get it if not everyone loves that moveset. I do like it. So we're going to switch up, and at this point, this won't affect damage, so I'm just going to go ahead and switch the plates, or the strap, to an armor one. Like I said, this won't affect any of the damage you're going to see from this moveset. It'll do exactly like what you just saw damage-wise. So we're not messing with that. It's just to save time and be more efficient. So you can ignore the plates if you don't have them, but know that you could potentially get them. And this is, I mean, you're basically, unless they get a wild card from heaven, you can't lose with this. Because you can drain their MP with the Hitman's Battle Plate, make 8 or more botch gems, deplete 4 MP from each of your opponent's moves. Rock's Finery, when you make 15 plus botch gems, decrease all of your opponent's gem damage by 80% for 3 turns. So 50% armor strap with that. And we are going to put in the Rib Breaker instead of the sub. 700k damage, and choose 5 columns to make into botches. So that gives us 7 times 5, 35 gems of botch. And then we're going to go with New Austin, a little bit more rare trainers for this one. New Austin, he's the S tier this month. Black gems do 40%, botch gems do 60%. And then Zombie Becky adds 10% more, so slightly better than what we were using. That's not Zombie Becky. It was a zombie though. Botch gems do 60%. So you can see here our botch get up to over 1 million. 35 million and 35. So the Rib Breaker, did I say what it did? 7 MP? Yeah, I did. All right. Let's run this one. So you don't need the plates for this one necessarily, but you won't have the botch gems on the board, so keep that in mind. You can see already, starting off with the armor strap, because it's the road, this isn't really accurate, right? They're already down to 1, and that's not real accurate, so that's typically why I don't like armor builds. But this one is pretty good because of the unblockable, so you can run an armor strap and still do the same damage we were doing for the most part without one, right? And then it doesn't really matter where you put these because they're going away. But that drains their MP. The only difference would be you wouldn't drain their MP. And then this buffs the gem damage, gem defense further. And you can see the pin ends up being very similar. It's a 46 million damage pin. And most of that's unblockable. 36 million's unblockable. So I actually really kind of like that build set, and I don't like botch move sets. Now, finally, you can actually, this is a super whaley set. You would only run this with a bunch of crazy stuff, so I'm not going to run it without. You can run a gem damage version as well with a botch build set. That's kind of crazy, right? So let's go ahead and just switch over to that. So I think there's, what I'm trying to get at is kind of there's something in here for, and this is what I love when they do with A tiers, when there's something in here for all levels of players. right? Like you can use Boss Man, you can have some fun with him. He has uses for like boss, he has uses on a smaller roster, he has uses on a medium roster, and he's got uses on a bigger roster, right? So we're going to keep the same exact moveset. We switch over to 100% gem damage trap with botch slap. When you make 8 plus botch gems, make 8 random gems and then multiply gems of strength 8. And a red Royal Rumble because he's a powerhouse and red is his primary color. Whenever you destroy 30 gems, which we're destroying 35, generate 30 red gems at the end of your turn. So we can hopefully pick up those multiply gems, potentially could miss a few, and we are going to swap with double MP zombie trainers. So we get the black gems from LA Knight and the red gems from Bailey, and then 60% multiply gem damage when we hit those multiplies. This isn't necessarily better because we lose some unblockable. It depends how many multiply gems we catch, to be honest. But it's just another thing he can do, which I like. So there's a bunch of, if you want him, red would be better, right? So if we want to index keeping our reds, we should save this one with 4 columns and 4, and this one with 2, and then better chance that we're going to hit multiply gems with red, right? So keep that in mind. You can set up for better success with where you place your columns. And of course, we broke a bunch without them being red because we hit a row break. But you can see 58 million total damage. So I don't know that it's like significantly better than the botch converts and stuff, but it's a different option, right? And I like it being breakfast and having options. So I guess, well, nothing is like crazy, like huge damage, like ridiculously huge damage. It's all really solid damage, and it's different. It's not slow. It's fun to me. So I think a lot. This is an A tier that I will enjoy playing even afterwards. Also, it's a really solid boss man, pretty good one. So if you don't have Powerhouse Austin, he's definitely going to be, you know, one of your better, if not your best Attitude Era powerhouse, depending how you want to run him. And the armor set, I'm actually not really a fan of armor sets in general, but I kind of feel this one, right? Like I feel like this is a set that I would enjoy running with these plates. Now, granted, the plates are not necessarily easy to get, but you can get the Rock's Finery out of feud chests, I know that. And the Hitman jacket was just on a wall recently. So I think there's a lot to like here for the A tier. I enjoyed him a lot. I enjoyed doing the preview. And we'll see as I get him and dig into him and play him before and after 99 MP how I feel about him. But I do think he's got a lot in his kit to like. So he's a fun one for me. Curious what you guys think. Do you like him? Obviously, I'm not going to say he's like the best powerhouse in the game or anything like that because he's not. But I do think he's fun, and I think he's a really solid addition to the game as an A tier. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Are you looking forward to this boss man? You like him? You don't like him? And yeah, let me know. Other than that, guys, thanks for watching, and good luck out there. Oh, also, you should comment for sure, and then remember to like, subscribe, and share, because it does actually help me out. So do that, please. Right, meow. Right, meow. Meow.